Hey everyone, uh, let's do this. Batman FOREVER-A-THON, adaptation by Peter David. Donate today to his GoFundMe, support of his family. We already read through all of Then, the first section of the book, which gave us backstories for Batman, Riddler, and Two-Face. We're about to open up on Now. So sit back, get a refreshing drink, and allow me to entertain you with the words of Peter David. Also, why don't you hit that, I was going to say like button. Yeah, sure, follow, like, subscribe, but most importantly, donate to Peter's GoFundMe. All right, let's do this. Chapter 1. Dr. Chase Meridian... Sorry. I don't know. Dr. Chase Meridian firmly believed that all the stories about how dangerous, make that capital D dangerous, Gotham City were just that, stories. This wasn't the Wild West, after all, a place where rules were bent, broken, and tossed out the window, where anyone would do whatever they wanted, and all citizens were on their own. As Dr. Meridian walked briskly down the street during a busy lunch hour, she felt the pulse of humanity around her. It was a cool October day, and clouds were rolling in. There had been light drizzle on and off, and one would think that such weather would somehow make the city feel washed clean. No, it just made the dirt shiny. And with the sky darkening, the rest of the afternoon didn't look much more promising. Speaking of promising, this. Still, enveloped as she was by walls of moving life on all sides, Dr. Meridian had her thesis reinforced for her. This was a city, a bustling metropolis, Gotham City, not Dodge City. Nevertheless, she found the mindset endlessly intriguing. Here was a place where people lived and worked, hoped and dreamed, and tried to deal with the fear that pervaded every moment of their existence. Some hid from it, some fought it, and some hid and fought back. All at the same time. Then she thought she saw something. A quick rustling of a cape, maybe, high above on a ledge, yet hidden in the shadows. She stopped, looked up, and saw not Batman, but a small flock of pigeons arc skyward, her imagination working overtime. It's actually Pigeon Man. What Dr. Meridian had forgotten in her brief distraction was that in a crowded bustling of the city, people take on the aspects of sharks. That is, they have to keep moving or they're dead. The moment she stopped moving, a good doctor came an immediate target. A man in a hurry to an illicit affair bumped into her, staggering her slightly. "Excuse me," she muttered to deaf ears before being bumped in another direction by a woman running to catch a bus. Dr. Meridian tried to regain her balance and equilibrium, and it was at her most distracted that she was the most vulnerable. The purse snatcher seemed to appear from nowhere. Before Dr. Meridian even knew what was happening, he had snagged her brand new leather Gucci bag and was hightailing it on foot. I wonder if it was branding, like a synergy thing. Did they get money from Gucci? Who knows? His long unwashed hair streamed out behind him. His dirty watch cap pulled down low over his face. Clutching the bag tightly under his arm as if it were charging down a field for a touchdown, the thief barreled down the sidewalk. He slipped in and out of spaces in the flow of humanity with a skill born of long practice. "Stop him!" shouted Chase Meridian. People looked around in confusion, not sure who was shouting, where the shout was coming from, or whom the plea for intervention applied to. The thief was so slick that even as a flustered pedestrian became aware of his presence, he was already gone. Chase started after him, but she was wearing a fairly light skirt that came down to her knees, not to mention high heels. Neither was conducive to speedy pursuit. She made a game try, but after half a block she stumbled. Her right heel snapped off with a sound like a rifle shot, and it was nothing short of miraculous that she didn't break her ankle. She kicked off her shoes, snatched them up, and continued the pursuit in her stocking feet. But it was more out of a sense of wounded pride than any hope of accomplishing anything. She knew there was no way in hell she was going to catch the little Cretan. The thief saw a break in the crowd. The victim's cries were echoing behind him, but becoming fainter by the moment as he put more distance between the two of them. And now he was going to be home free. He darted around the hot dog cart, around a derelict, and now there was no one between him and the entrance to a subway station. This was his particularly favorite station, since there were 4 different passages to assorted trains waiting at the bottom of the stairs. The one had been well-dressed and definitely grade A prime. Probably had a ton of cash and every major credit card. He'd easily be able to get in some early Christmas shopping before she managed to cancel all the cards. "Stop him!" came the voice again, and he glanced behind himself to make sure that no one was after him. As a result, he didn't see the obstruction until it was too late. Then again, if he had been watching, there was a good chance he wouldn't have seen it because the figure was a blur. There was a parked car next to the lamppost. At the exact moment the thief's attention was diverted, a slim, muscular youth darted across the roof of the car. He grabbed the lamppost and, using it as his axis while never slowing down, he swung his legs around and slammed his feet squarely into the thief's head. The thief wasn't entirely clear on what had just happened. One moment his way was clear, and the next he was on the ground with blood pouring from his nose. He looked around in confusion and then saw his attacker, a sawed-off runt with dark hair and a smug expression. He was clutching a purse tightly to his chest. The purse, not his own purse, just the purse in question. There's only been one purse so far, just so we all know. "You little creep," shouted the thief, as everybody who owns this purse becomes personally attached to it and is offended and calls the person who takes it a creep. Interesting. "You little creep," shouted the thief as he got quickly to his feet. The boy didn't back down, but instead glared at him with the air of one who was either supremely brave or remarkably stupid. "Stop him!" called a female voice from behind, and from off to the left came another voice, male, deep, and alarmed, shouting, "Richard! Richard!" Angry and upset people converging on him was enough of a cue for the thief to realize that this little endeavor was finished. With a low growl directed at the interfering boy, he darted around the youth while at the same time trying to impede the flow of blood from his nose. The boy took a step to block his flight, but apparently realized after a moment that he'd be pressing his luck. So he froze as the thief reached the subway station in safety. He flipped the boy an obscene gesture. The kid stuck his tongue out in return. This is interesting. I'm trying to remember what happens in the movie, and I don't think this scene is in it at all. And I think this is Batman and Robin, but this is Batman Forever, and it's a little kid Robin. That's interesting. Also, what's interesting is the guy stole a purse and was kicked in the face to the point of he could have gotten a concussion. And I think today we'd have different opinions about his prospects in the NFL. All right. "There he goes," came a woman's shout as the thief vanished down the stairs to the subway. The teen turned in the direction of the cry and held up the purse. "It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So okay. S apostrophe okay. It's okay." He called, "I got it back. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It is okay. Guys, it's going to be okay. I got it back." His mouth continued to hang open as the woman emerged from the crowd into view. She was attractive, extremely shapely, with a rounded face, lovely blonde hair, and an air of total dishevelment because of her run that he found very fetching. "Calm down, here you go," he said. From another direction came a tall, muscular man who bore a striking resemblance to the young man. The man saw the boy, the woman saw the purse, and both of them said, "Oh, thank God," at the same time. "Is this your son?" she asked. "Yes, it is. He is very brave, Mr. Grayson. I'm John. This is Richard." Well, it's Richard Grayson. That's not Batman. I'm sorry. I mean, Robin. That's not Robin. No. Richard Grayson. I wonder if it's any relation to Richard Grayson. Mr. Grayson, I'm Dr. Chase Meridian. Richard, you've earned a reward. Great, said Richard, already envisioning the largesse that a wealthy doctor might be capable of. But his father immediately said, no, that's quite all right, doctor. The benefit should be in the act itself. Isn't that right, Richard? He had a firm hand on his son's shoulder, and it squeezed ever so gently, ever so ungently. Absolutely, Dad, said Richard through gritted teeth. Are you sure? Asked Dr. Meridian. I guess we are, said Richard. I just did it for the thrill of the action and because it was the right thing to do. If Dr. Meridian picked up the sarcasm, she didn't give any indication of it. Instead, her interest seemed piqued. You know, she said thoughtfully, I'm doing some studies of people who think exactly along those lines. Would you, I hate to ask, you've done so much, would you be interested in spending some time in the next few weeks in a series of visits? This is why you should never help people in the streets of the city. John Grayson didn't appear to understand at first, but then he caught on. You're a psychiatrist, he said. That's right. Well, doctor, as he glanced down on his son, I admit my son's actions might seem a little crazy. Oh, no, said Chase quickly. I never implied or even thought that. It's just that I have this study about... It doesn't matter, said John. We're not in town all that long, just passing through, and as a matter of fact, we are late for an appointment. I am glad I'm due to die tragically in a few hours. I'm glad we were able to help you out. Good luck to you. And with that, he trundled Richard away as quickly as he could. Chase watched them go and scratched her chin thoughtfully. I wonder what that was about, she said. Then she shrugged, slipped her shoes back on, and hobbled off to try to find a shoemaker. Are you out of your mind? Demanded John. I don't know, said Richard as they walked briskly down the street. There was a shrink there. You could have asked her. Ha! Good one, you little smug piece of... And why'd you tear us out of there so fast? She was pretty nice to look at. What was the hurry? John slowed up and sighed. They were walking along the edge of Gotham Park, and John dropped down onto a bench. Because I've run into people like that from time to time, said John Grayson. And the moment they find out we're trapeze artists, they want to start getting into our heads. Get into the entire cheating death business. I don't need the aggravation, and neither do you. And you, he said firmly, you're the major issue under discussion, jumping into the middle of a crime situation. That was crazy. That was crazy. We could have gotten away with the purse. Oh, I'm sorry. He could have gotten away with the purse. He could have pulled a gun. Did you think of that? Dick grinned lopsidedly, not looking especially disturbed. But we're in the cheating death business. You said so yourself. We've always have been. Richard, said his father, taking him firmly by the arms. There's an element of truth to that, but we do everything we can to minimize the risk. What you did was maximize it. Risking death is one thing, but staring it straight in the face and saying, take your best shot is something else. Again. And that's what I did, huh? Yes, that's what you did. But what about that time with Chris, remember? Yes, sighed John. You told me how brave it was when the wire broke. Yes, I know, Richard. And it was brave, and it was very likely even more dangerous than what you just did. But your brother's life was at stake. Brother. Laying it on the line when it's life or death is not remotely the same as taking chances to save somebody's handbag. The stakes are different. Amazing. Yes. Deal with it. He hasn't brought up the fact that he could have killed the guy, but you know what? Whatever. It's degrees, Richard. Then he shook his head with a gruff sigh and ruffled his son's hair. Just don't do it again, okay? If you go and get yourself killed, your mother and I would have to go and make another baby to be in the act. Wait for him to grow up. The whole business would just take forever. So be careful, okay? Sure, Dad, said Dick, grin still firmly in place. There was a distant rumble of thunder, and John looked up in concern. Come on, he said. Let's pick up those costume items your mom wanted and get back to the circus. I think a storm's rolling in, and from the look of it, it's going to be a rough one. Yeah. All right. So we got a little secret then, although probably not that then. I think if Robin stays in the story, he is going to be a young Robin. So help me in the comments. Hey, engagement. So Batman, right? Joker. The Batman, Tim Burton's Joker. Batman Returns was Frank from Always Sunny. I'm just pretend like it was just Frank from Always Sunny, not the Penguin. And Catwoman. Batman Forever. Was it Batman Forever, then Batman and Robin? Batman and Robin had George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell as Robin. I don't think Robin was in an earlier. I don't think he was in Batman Forever. It was just Riddler and Shebang Bang, otherwise known as Two-Face. That was his original name. Only deep comic book lore. So what's happening here? Lots of liberties. I like it. I hope you like it. And I know you like Peter David and his work, so please donate there at the URL. God, I hope I remember to put the URL up. It's Non-Productive.com /Batman Forever. And do the thing, because you owe it to us personally. Like, follow, subscribe, do all that jazz, and tell a friend about these. Watch the back episodes. Interact with us during the stream, you jackass. And love each other. Just going to keep looking until it gets real awkward.